Xel'Naga Caverns. What exactly is different about this one? Oh, the supply depot, where you can't block the ramp.
Yeah, so basically on all of the MLG, so for the League, we are using the MLG version of the maps. So like as you can see, there's a supply depot, a neutral supply depot in front of all the ramps, so that a Zerg player can't get like bunkered in or like pyloned in. So we're trying to just eliminate a lot of the kind of like dumb, cheesy features that exist on the current ladder map pool. So that's why we decided to try to go for the tournament version of these maps. And then
I would just like to let any Zerg players in the League know that if you want to host one of the ones that is not MLG and then play against me, I will not blame you. I would be fine with that, actually.
And I mean, it doesn't come into play on Xel'Naga Caverns, but on Shattered Temple and any of the 4-player maps, such as like Metalopolis, they've also gotten rid of close spawn positions, which a lot of people would argue for Terran is a free win and for Zerg is a free loss in a TVZ matchup.
Yeah, getting rid of close spawn positions was a good idea. Close spawns were really dumb. I mean, close spawn Metalopolis. If a Zerg actually won a close spawn Metalopolis, you could tell that he was by far the better player.
Yeah.
It looks like we're going to see another pool first for Onemanzerg. We are not seeing a gas get taken by Scvrush, so...
Well, he's got a little Makarax going on at the gold base.
He's putting down a
Flamgo
Makarax.
can pan to that very quickly. Yes, we have a Makarax.
Let's see if that's going to get scouted. It doesn't look like it. Now, I believe that was a 12-14 2-Rax, right? It was... I missed the timing on the second barracks.
Yeah,
so
I didn't see it
12-14.
go. I didn't see when it exactly went down, but I want to say it probably was a 12-14. And I mean, going back to Onemanzerg's build choice, I'm really not liking how he's going for the Speedling opening on these maps, because I mean, if with proper micro, and you should be able to hold a 2-Rax while still going 15 hatch.
Yeah.
And I mean, following
or
up,
even if he was scared, go 14 hatch. 14 hatch was designed as a counter to 2-Rax because he gets up early enough. You can start the spine crawler.
Right.
You know, like, I don't know. The 12-14 2-Rax is not going to work for Scvrush. Not against a Speedling expand. It's too slow. If you see someone do Speedling expand and you still want a 2-Rax, you need to do 11-11, 11-12. You need to do one of the quick 2-Raxes. Because if you get there too late, then speed finishes, and Speedlings will just tear up your Marines.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like he's actually going to pressure with this at all, because he's just rallying the Marines back to his base. I wouldn't be surprised if he just lifts his proxied barracks soon.
Yeah, I think he saw that Onemanzerg had once again gone for a Speedling opening and decided that it would be kind of risky to try to push it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's
not
a really
bad
good
choice.
by
So if I were Scvrush, and actually it looks like he's moving out, I was gonna say go back to your base, finish the wall, and then cut Marines to get the faster CC. Looks like he's gonna push. I don't think he's bringing any SCVs, so that means there's gonna be no bunker.
Yeah, I mean he's just putting on pressure, trying to make sure Onemanzerg makes Zerglings and not drones, and he's also getting a command center of his own. So in terms of
he's
economy,
gonna have plenty of Speedlings and a Queen down here, so he's gonna hold this off easy. Now what Scvrush needs to do is he just needs to get a good position and try to get away with these Marines. He doesn't want to engage, because if he loses the Marines, he's in danger of a counterattack, or just in danger of having the smaller army later.
Right. And I mean, Onemanzerg is doing a pretty good job of not overreacting to the amount of Marines he's seen. Although he has made a few extra Zerglings, he's done a good job of mixing in his drone production at the same time.
Yeah. Now these Marines are way out of place. Yeah, these Marines are way out of place over here. If they get caught by some Lings and they get taken out, I mean, this is, what is this, 8 Marines here? Like, you don't think of 8 Marines as being a lot, but let's say later in the game he does, like, say, the standard 3 tank push after an expansion. those 8 less Marines can be a big deal if one-man Zerg goes Muta.
Definitely.
It looks like we're going to have a tech lab go down on the
looks
factory,
like we're gonna see
probably for tanks, but could be
actually, never
Cloak
mind.
Banshee because the starport's being put down next to it. Could also even be a Blue Flame Hellion drop. I think, in my experience playing one-man Zerg, I would go for the Blue Flame Hellion drop.
For a second there, I got worried that one-man Zerg was going to try to all-in again, but then he took his lair, so hopefully he's looking to take this into a macro game.
You know, he's up on supply right now. Scvrush is just landing his command center. If I were one-man Zerg, go ahead and take the 3rd base.
Oh, dang.
I don't think that Scvrush is going to be able to pressure the 3rd base anytime soon. And it looks like Scvrush is actually going Cloak Banshee, so one-man Zerg should have no problems with taking another base. Cloak Banshees aren't going to kill an expansion unless you mess something up really bad. It's kind of like the reaction to Stargate play. You know, if you see a Protoss go Stargate when you're playing Zerg, you're almost always safe to go ahead and take the 3rd base, because something like Phoenixes can't lift up your buildings and kill them.
Right. And also, the threat of some kind of ground aggression or all-in kind of goes out the window, because you see, oh, you're going for Stargate, so you don't really have any other units, so I'm safe. And it looks like one-man Zerg is going to try to do just pure Ling Infestor play, but I want to say he got his...
He does have the Baneling Nest.
Yeah.
He does have the Baneling Nest in case he needs it. I would like to see him go ahead and get Ling speed, Baneling speed, my bad. Because at some point in the game, you're going to need Banelings.
Definitely.
You're not going to be able to cut it on just Infestor Ling. You're probably not going to be able to cut it unless you just have, unless you flank really well and get really well-timed fungals. Now, there's still no siege mode out for Scvrush, and there's only 1 tank out. So he's going to have very, very late tanks, which is going to mean very, very low numbers of tanks. And now, note that these Banshees that are moving in will do some damage, but do not have Cloak. So if one-man Zerg, as you can see, he's making 3 Spore Crawlers. That's like, 300 minerals, not to mention 3 drones. Now it's 4 Spore Crawlers.
Yeah, I
That's
think this
a lot
is
that he's
definitely
putting
an
into
overreaction
this.
right now.
Yeah.
He's also
That's
making
a
extra
lot
queens
that's
for
putting into
air
this.
defense.
Now that Banshee has done all the damage it needs to do. I mean, not even without its 5 kills, 4 Spore Crawlers and 2 extra queens is a lot of money to be putting in right now. And a lot of, larva, because he has to replace those 5 drones eventually, at least. So that larva is gone too. I'm curious as to why Scvrush is making Marauders. It seems like a very weird choice.
Well, I know Scvrush likes to get Marauders because he likes how they can tank Baneling hits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's just like his personal style and preference.
Okay. I mean, I can see that. I would prefer to just have more tanks and kill the Banelings before they get to me, though. I hate Banelings.
And it looks like one-man Zerg is going to go for an attack from the tasteless hidden hallway.
I don't like one-man Zerg attacking into this position in the mineral line. It looks like he's going to do a lot of damage anyway, but that was a terrible position to attack into. Had he, tried to move around, maybe get some lings around that factory, he could have done way more damage. In terms of harvesters, he's up by 7. He should be up by significantly more, especially considering he has that 3rd base. Losing drones and using a ton on Spore Crawlers definitely didn't help. In terms of army value, Scvrush is obviously ahead. Those 2 siege tanks alone are a huge, huge portion of Scvrush's army value, though. And, you may think as a Zerg player, siege tanks are just invincible. But when siege tanks are on their own, when they don't have their supporting units, they are incredibly fragile. Looks like we have a drop coming in here from Scvrush, going to the 3rd. Not sure how much damage this is going to do. It depends how quick Onemanzerg reacts. You got 2, 3, 4 drone kills. About to get 5. There's 5. And now the Lings are coming in, but a good position from Scvrush. He should at least kill a few of these Zerglings. The only downside is he did lose that medevac, along with all the Marines. That's quite a supply hit. So all in all, he did kill some drones. He made Onemanzerg reposition his army. But at the same time, he just lost so much that I don't know that it was worth it. He's finally putting down a 3rd command center here at about the 15-minute mark. He is definitely behind.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was semi-worthwhile because he saw how many Lings he had, and he saw a lack of Mutalisks, which I think is leading to this Banshee harass coming back in. He realizes that Onemanzerg doesn't have the mutas necessary to take care of this effectively.
Now, I really like this dual Banshee harass. 2 Banshees will one-shot a drone. That makes it so quick to just get in there, kill some drones, and leave before the Queens can do anything. We have 2 factories making siege tanks now. I agree with that decision. He's going to need a lot of siege tanks. I would still like to see some Blue Flame Hellions out of this because there's still a lot of Zerglings, not many Banelings. Might as well go Blue Flame. And also, I'm not sure why there's 4 drones just kind of idly sitting in front of Onemanzerg's natural, but there are, just kind of hanging out with the infestors, being bodyguards or something.
I really like Scvrush's decision to get that Ghost Academy because I think Ghosts are really underappreciated in this matchup, especially versus... But I think they're like really good, especially versus somebody who's playing the style that Onemanzerg is doing right now, which is really heavy on infestors and Lings. So you really need those EMPs out. And also,
yeah, Ghosts are...
snipes are really great too.
Ghosts are really just a great unit, as long as you have the ability to use them. You know, if you have an army that's got like a bunch of really micro-heavy units in it, you're probably not going to be able to use the Ghosts too, unless you're really good. So some players will, you know, they'll get Ghosts, but then they end up getting like 1, maybe 2 kind of okay EMPs off, and then they'll still lose the fight and wonder why they got the Ghosts in the first place. But if you use them properly, a single Ghost can really, really change the battle. I mean, look at TVP. TVP right now is a matchup that is almost entirely based around the Ghost. And I think the same thing could happen with TVZ, just used in a different manner with, you know, snipes instead of EMPs most of the time. And this is a good tank position here, sieging the 3rd base. But there's a lot of Lings, a lot of infestors.
Oh wow, that EMP hit pretty much every infestor.
Really good EMP. I think he was only able to get 1 fungal out of 1 of those infestors. And I think that's just going to let SCV take out the 3rd base.
I mean, one thing I would have preferred Scvrush do instead was, with his 3rd base, I would have definitely liked him to have tried to take that gold base and then set up, you know, a planetary fortress and kind of get that impenetrable defensive stance for a Terran player on this map. And it becomes really hard for a Zerg player to break that unless, you know, they have like brood lords or just overwhelming numbers.
I think his reasoning behind it was that the creep is already spread all the way up there, so that's going to delay him taking it even longer. And I think he realizes that he really, really needs that 3rd up so he can start dropping mules somewhere else. And also, we see that that man crush of Onemanzerg coming through because he has ultras. He's making ultras. Now, these are going to be 3-2 ultras, mind you. So these aren't poorly upgraded ultras. I still would have preferred Broodlords, though. And he's not getting chitinous plating, which is just weird, because, I mean, if you're going to go ultras, why not get it? You know, it's an extra +2 armor, and it's faster than a normal armor upgrade.
Yeah, and so. It's definitely... Without that extra 2 armor... Oh, wow, this is really good
coming in.
Flank by Onemanzerg, catching Scvrush.
A decent EMP, not the best EMP, but a decent EMP. Gonna take out a lot of units for Scvrush that were out of
definitely
position
needs to
anyway.
save these medevacs, though. They're just kind of chilling in no man's land.
Yeah, he needs to send those back. Now, the 3rd of Scvrush will die if Onemanzerg attacks it. Ultralists will tear through a planetary. They don't care about the cannon on top. They will just eat the planetary. There's a single siege tank here too, but that's going to get taken down as well. And it looks like...
Actually, I don't really like what Onemanzerg is doing right now, because technically he's not in a position with his bases and his macro to just be throwing away these ultras right now for this planetary.
Well, I think he realizes that because of the nature of mules, Scvrush is practically mined out right now. He still has a lot of patches, but each one is very, very low. If Scvrush drops a mule on any patch that is natural, it's gone. So the fact that he took out that third basically gives Scvrush the choice. He can either keep dropping mules and have his consistent army, but end up basically killing himself in the next few minutes, or he can stop dropping his mules, take a huge hit in income, and be, back closer to on par with Onemanzerg in terms of, income. I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh, yes. He either has the choice of drop mules, end up losing soon because he doesn't have a third, or don't drop mules, and then end up losing soon because he doesn't have a big enough army. Also, Onemanzerg didn't even bother to kill the rocks to take the gold. He just builds a hatchery next to the rocks. What is this?
Well, I mean, he was trying to kill the rocks, but then Scvrush had sent a small little strike force to hit that side expansion.
There's a drop coming by for Scvrush. This was actually scouted by that hatchery up there that was building, but he didn't react to it really. There's two queens here. They took down one of the drop ships, but overall this drop, I mean, it's going to do some damage, but for two medevacs full of units, I don't think it's doing enough damage.
I really would have liked to have seen Scvrush try to go for those important tech structures like the spawning pool or the infestation pit or even the Ultralisk cavern. Because I feel, had he just picked one of those right away and gone straight for it, he would have gotten at least one.
Yeah, I think with two medevacs, he could have definitely got that spawning pool. Or even if, when he had dropped, if he had just sniped one of the queens then left, because once he saw that there were two queens and a hatchery there, he should have known he wasn't really going to do much damage. But target firing down the fifth base over here, and that hatchery is definitely going to go down, and maybe a couple of the drones too. That was a very good move. That's the kind of stuff that needs to happen if Scvrush wants to come back in this game. But he is down about 48 supply. Comebacks have, there have been more crazy comebacks than 48 supply, but that is a lot to be down by. Ultralisk coming in here. It looks like they're going to try to take out this planetary again. Not really attacking in good position, but...
Oh, wow, these fungals are just going to destroy all of Scvrush's SCVs.
Taking out so many harvesters, the planetary going down.
Some pretty good EMPs take out all the energy, though.
Yes, now is the point where Scvrush has to do something right now if he wants to seal his ability to make a comeback. If he doesn't push right now and at least take out the gold base, I don't see how he's going to come back, because he has very little minerals left. He needs to get Onemanzerg in a position where he can't, he can't continue what he's already doing. And it looks like what he's going to try to do is just float that orbital to the gold. And, that's not a bad choice. But Onemanzerg has his third. He has that base at the gold, even though it is kind of long-distance mining. And he's taking another over on the right. I mean, just having one gold base, mules are good. But just one gold base with, 2 orbital commands for mules is not quite the same as a 3-base economy. Not to mention, this gold base will mine out ridiculously fast once mules start dropping on it. It's 66 harvesters to 27. 66 being Onemanzerg. That's a huge deficit. There's only one siege tank out. Honestly, I would like to see Onemanzerg just make like 100 banelings right now. With only one siege tank out, there's absolutely nothing to stop it. He could roll through this entire army and target down the orbital.
Oh.
Looks like we have a little flank coming in here. I must say that Onemanzerg's flanks are pretty good. And yep, it looks like we're getting a GG out of Scvrush. That will make it 1-1.